Day. Today's high in Farmington, 65 degrees. Clear tonight with a low near 41. Another mostly sunny day tomorrow with a high of 70 degrees on Tuesday. 72 with sunshine on Wednesday. Overnight lows mid-40s. Twelve minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, the 21st day of April, 2025. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Micklin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE, 90.9 FM over the airwaves here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, we broadcast at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening to my voice anywhere else on the planet, you go to our website to do that, streaming all the time from KSJE.com. Welcome also to our viewers this morning. The video of this program is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. So glad that you're all with us this morning, because coming up in the next few moments, we are getting an update from folks over at the Central Consolidated School District. Lots of things going on, lots to share with you this morning, so stay tuned for that. Our conversation begins in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then later on this morning, we'll be checking in with Lewis Campbell from Synergy Computer Systems. He'll be talking technology news with me. That's coming your way today at 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. Next hour, of course, classical music with Mick Hess, our host of Roving with the Arts. A reminder to connect with us on X and Instagram, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And if you're a podcast person, we invite you to subscribe for free to KSJE podcasts. They're available where you're probably already listening to podcasts. So check it out and discover a new program that you may have missed recently. Outside our studios here at San Juan College, it is a chilly 42 degrees, but a sunny Monday morning. We are expecting a partly sunny day today with a high of 64 degrees in Farmington. Partly cloudy overnight, the low 41. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a high of 69 degrees on Tuesday. Clear skies overnight Tuesday and a high of 72 with sunshine on Wednesday. Upper 60s, I should say, for a high on Thursday. Still lots of sunshine for the rest of the week. I'll be back with my guests with more right after this on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, whose vision is to deliver world-class care, making life better for the communities they are privileged to serve. Offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so residents can live life better here. San Juan Regional Medical Center, community-owned and operated, here for you.
Life is all about getting from one place to another, from home to work, between school and the store. But what if you don't know exactly how to get there? That's where the Navigation Center can help. Maybe you've lost vital documents, need help with housing, or can't find a medical provider. Located inside Presbyterian Medical Services at 1001 West Broadway, the Navigation Center can help you navigate life's challenges. The San Juan County Navigation Center, connecting to resources, empowering lives.
Back in Studio A with my guests this morning, as I mentioned, from the Central Consolidated School District. Always great to have them with us. And joining us back in the studio, Superintendent of Schools Steve Carlson is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Welcome back. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Assistant Superintendent Peter Deswood is joining us this morning. Mr. Deswood, great to have you here as well.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much. And also Kate Morris is here. She is the gifted instructional coach for the Central Consolidated School District. Ms. Morris, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Nice
to be here.
Thank you all for coming in. And Mr. Carlson, let's start with you a little bit on things going on in the Central Consolidated School District. Here we are towards the end of April. I imagine your staff and students are watching closely the end of the school year, and with anticipation, your seniors getting ready to maybe walk across those stages for graduation ceremonies. An exciting time.
Exciting time, Scott. Right now, I believe a lot of our elementary and middle schools are taking the state assessment, which is
important.
Another exciting thing that's going on. So.
Right. So hopefully attendance is good.
It better be.
Right.
They measure that, Scott,
right.
So
true.
We're hoping for it.
Very true. Well, I wanted to ask you a couple things about some of the things going on for you in your office. You are going to a conference And it's got a lot of acronyms, and I, for the life of me, probably couldn't figure that out. But maybe you can. NMASBO conference. That
Sure,
is.
Scott. Yeah, that's the New Mexico Association of School Business Officials.
Thank
and
you.
that conference took place in Albuquerque about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Week and a half ago.
Very good. And talking about what types of issues then, I guess? Just budgets and things, or what?
Yes, budgets. So we also talked a lot about what's going on kind of at the national level and the state level, with especially DEI initiatives. We had the Secretary of Education, Mariana Padilla, talking about that with the state of New Mexico, and she didn't quite get into the subject too deep because there's some issues with it. Scott, I don't know how much you've been paying attention to that, but at the national level, there's talk about pulling back from diversity and equity and inclusion as if they're bad things. But in the state of New Mexico, we're kind of all about diversity and equity and inclusion in our school system. Matter of fact, we have a lawsuit, the Yazzie Martinez lawsuit, which directs us to make sure we're supposed to have those three things. So for us, DEI is kind of embedded and ingrained in what we do in education in New Mexico. So whether or not we're going to get certain funding from the federal level, that's a difficult discussion right now.
Got you. And probably too early to say one way or the other, I guess, right? We're kind of waiting to see how things
exactly, and
happen.
That's the part where it was very interesting to hear folks from the education level of the state talk about, well, we're looking into that right now. We're talking about that. We're having conversations about that. Because I don't want to say, hey, you know what, we don't need that funding, because we kind of need that funding, Scott.
Yeah, right. And the lawsuit that you mentioned, am I remembering that it was a federal lawsuit?
So
or a
Yazzie
state
Martinez
lawsuit?
is actually a state lawsuit,
State.
the state of New Mexico.
Okay, thank you.
For New Mexico students.
Got you. But that is something that all districts are now needing to follow
Absolutely.
across the state.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's important. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is from the legislative session, House Bill 2, and that includes some state funding and things like that. And what's the latest with that?
Okay, Scott. Well, the House Bill 2 is a state equalization guarantee funding that the state funds all schools with. And that funding gives us a certain dollar amount per student, but it also includes factors for different things. Secondary students get so much, elementary students get so much. But this year it also included a factor for ELL students, and we do have a fair amount of ELL students in our district. So that was something that was...
And that's English language learners.
English language learners, yes, sir.
Got it. And so what does that mean for those students, I guess? More money or more support for them?
More money, and more money should translate to more support. The state tries to give us a little bit of free rein as far as how we want to fund that, except for there are certain things that the state wants to fund, like CTE programs. They are kind of pushing that at some times,
right.
Community schools at other times. But for the most part, we get dollar amounts per student that we can spend how we want to spend.
Gosh, got you. And is it a focus on particular areas of study? I guess maybe some help with math or things like that, or is that a different situation?
Well, it's a great question. Actually, there's something embedded in there for math instruction. There were a couple bills that came out. One is for the science of reading, another is for math instruction. At the state level, they like to have math coaches. But the legislature, they did not approve those bills, so they tried to stick a little bit more back in there for math. And so there's some dollars, I think $6 million allocated for math instruction as well.
Gotcha. And so, very good. And so the governor has gone ahead and signed that bill, or is she about going to sign that bill?
She has signed that bill, Scott.
She has signed it, so
it's
okay.
law now.
Okay, good to know, because I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time after the session ends for the governor to maybe make a decision on some of these bills, so good to know. And other issues to talk about with you, Superintendent Carlson, is student engagement and some of the things with teachers connecting with their students. I mean, that's got to be something happening district-wide.
Sure, that's something that I wanted to make sure that staff understand that's a push of mine. I've always been about student engagement in the classroom. We want to make sure our students are engaged in their learning so that they're active, talking to each other about their learning, and not sitting passively working on worksheets. That's not engagement. And we want to make sure that our teachers, they care about kids. And so we want to make sure our teachers are making connections with those kids and giving them reason to want to be in the classroom. So that's just, I like to kind of go around and preach those things, engagement and connectivity, connect with students.
Right, very important. So,
You bet.
Oh, and you can't hear it enough, I'm sure.
Can't hear it enough.
So, very good. Thank you for being here. Always
Absolutely.
appreciate you coming over. I want to turn next to Assistant Superintendent Peter Deswood and some of the work that he is doing in the Central Consolidated School District. Mr. Deswood, it's great to have you back in this capacity here on KSJE. And some good news, it seems to me, for your schools when it comes to the state and how it designates the schools in the Central District.
Yes, that is correct. Let me just do my introduction really quick.
Please.
Yate Peter Deswood III and She Tkachini Shle Kilachini Bashichin. Ashira Shichedo Twoi Heglini Dashanella. I am the Assistant Superintendent of Central Consolidated School District, so thank you, Scott, for having us here to highlight the work that we are doing. So when Mr. Carlson and I first came to the district, we had 9 schools identified as comprehensive school improvement schools, schools that needed improvement based on test scores and attendance and science scores as well. So after our second year, we ended up moving 6 schools off of CSI. We ended up moving down to 6 schools on CSI status.
Okay.
And most recently, we moved Dijoni Elementary, Sup't Middle School, Shiprock High School, and Kirtland Middle School off of CSI status to traditional status. Now we only have 2 schools on comprehensive school improvement status, and that is Career Prep High School and Mesa Elementary School. So still trying to do a lot of work, trying to help these schools get off status. Our schools do get support from the Public Education Department, a lot more interventions provided from the Public Education Department. Like we just had site visits this past week and the prior week for these 2 schools. Of course, these schools did get extra funding as well, $110,000 depending on the status. We had one school that had more rigorous interventions, and that school received $125,000 extra to help within the buildings to improve student outcomes and also decrease or increase in attendance as well. So some of the other things that we've been working on is trying to, one of Mr. Carlson's initiatives was to reinvigorate our AP programs, keep our students in our district.
Right.
We have students leaving because they want more rigorous education. So we've been really focused on trying to, Kate will talk about our gifted program, but like increase our AP offerings in our high schools. Also, we've been working on our course catalog, making sure that our pathways align, or actually, I think our pathways, am I correct, Kate? Pathways? So making sure that we're aligned, making sure that we're using student survey data to create courses so that we don't have classes where there's 4 or 5 students in them, and making sure that our programs are robust so that our kids are leaving our district with the skills that they need to be successful, whether that's college, university, going to welding programs, going to the military,
Right.
so that they have a really good, solid foundation to be successful after they leave our schools. Another thing that we've been really focused on is our attendance. So our attendance when we got to the district was in the high 80s, 89-ish, and recently we've been above 90%. So we've been really focusing on trying to put systems of support in for our students and also our teachers, right? A lot of professional development, making sure our grants, Title I, Title II, and Title IV are really focused on providing support for our students and also our teachers, also our principals as well, because that's what we've been really trying to look at to make sure that our folks have that support that they need to make sure that our kids are getting what they need to daily.
Very good. And as Mr. Carlson said, attendance is important during assessment periods and all the time, I guess, right, during the school years. So not just this time of year, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Attendance is always a big thing. It's such a big thing that the state has schools writing attendance improvement plans yearly. And actually this year, the Public Education Department provided feedback on these attendance improvement plans. So they're really putting emphasis on those improvement plans. And then there's actually a conference coming up on May 7th at the Buffalo Thunder Casino where they're really getting into the nuts and bolts of those attendance improvement plans.
Very, very good. I wanted to go back just a minute and talk about the improvement in status for these schools in the district. And you only have 2, as you mentioned, that are still on kind of the list for some interventions and support from the state. But all the rest of central schools are off of that list. And so I imagine that's not necessarily easy work, and it takes a team to move a school off of some of those criteria. Can you talk a bit more about that? Is that benefiting from the staff and the principals of working together to make these things happen, or what would you attribute it to?
Yeah, so whenever we first got to the district, one of the things we did was we did a lot of root cause analysis, and the root cause analysis showed that lack of stability and leadership was a key indicator for why our schools weren't performing like other schools. Since we've been here, Mr. Carlson and I have been in the district now we're just finishing our third year. So that stability and leadership is really important. Another issue that we found was not just actually leadership from the central office, but also leadership within our buildings, principals. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of turnover, and that's something that we've really tried to focus on and make sure that our principals are supported, and then making sure that Mr. Carlson gets a contract, which he did because of the work that we're doing. Our data is improving. Our schools are moving off of the status. Our attendance is improving. So all of these indicators, all these lagging indicators are showing promise, and I guess that's why Mr. Carlson got a contract recently. So.
There you go. Very good. Well, congratulations to both of you. And Mr. Carlson, great to hear that you'll be back with us maybe for a few years to come, it sounds like, with this new contract. So, good. Hope that was written into the contract. You got to come over here every month.
I've got next year right now, Scott.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Very good. Also want to bring Kate Morris into the conversation this morning. She is the district's, thank you, Mr. Deswood, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank
you being here as well. I want to bring Kate Morris into the conversation, the gifted and instructional coach for the Central Consolidated School District, and the work that you do throughout the district for students that are wanting maybe a little bit additional instruction and things like that. Talk a bit about your job, if you wouldn't mind.
So I started this position last January.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, our gifted program had kind of disappeared a little bit over COVID and a few years before. And so at the time I took over, there were 0 students identified for gifted at the elementary level, which was kind of strange. So we have been really putting in the initiative to start testing our students and also testing our third grade students. Every third grade student in the next few years will be tested for gifted.
Gotcha.
And then also anybody that wants to nominate their student, K through 12, can also nominate for gifted services. So in the last year, we have tested over 1,200 students, and we have doubled our program from 78 at the beginning of this year to 152 at the end of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I guess that shows me that there was a need for talented, gifted programs like the one that you put in place throughout the district. And so that's great. And it seems to me that the state has taken notice of the program as well. There was a special proclamation at the Roundhouse recently. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So in 2023, we got a new gifted rule, which actually kind of reinvigorated gifted for the entire state. And so I was honored to represent Central Consolidated Schools at the Roundhouse on March 11th. And this legislative certificate was presented for all abilities, talents, and potential in all schools day, which was to mark the revigoration of gifted in the state, and also what's to come, and that all students have the ability to show that potential. So I was super honored by getting to stand next to Senator Cedillo Lopez while she read it on the House floor, and was there with other colleagues in the gifted area around the state.
Nice. Very good. Well, congratulations, and nice to see that recognition from your colleagues and some of the other folks here in the state as well. It seems to me that when you're able to offer gifted programs, it seems to dovetail pretty well with what Mr. Deswood was talking about when you talk about increased attendance and things like that. If students feel challenged at school, they're not bored, they want to come to school, and the learning is engaging and things like that. Is that part of this program as well?
Oh, most definitely. So one of the things that I take a lot of passion in is secondary gifted education, which sometimes gets forgotten. And the reason is because those are our students that are our next leaders in the future. And so with our program, we have started bringing in outside agencies and availability for opportunities for our students that are at the rigorous level. And so, especially with our students at the elementary through the high school level, we have a broad range of giftedness. It could be general intellectual ability, it could be in a specific subject like math or science, or it could be in creative and divergent thinking and things like that.
Nice. And these things are available at all schools in the Central District then
Yes.
for your students?
So we have gifted programs at each of the schools, and they are able, depending on the level, elementary is more like a pull-out where they get to do enrichment with like peers. At the middle school and high school level, they have opportunities for acceleration and other opportunities like field trips and certain other things that go along with the program.
Nice. Very good. Well, that's got to be very exciting for students in that program and for their parents, too, I think, that are looking for things to keep their children engaged at school and interested and, of course, looking to the future and things along that line. You have a partnership, too, with ASU, Arizona State University. Can you talk with me a bit about that?
So we were really excited. We piloted the program earlier this year. We have a partnership with Arizona State University Prep Academy, which is an online digital high school. And we also have a partnership with Arizona State University Accelerate, which is the dual credit program through ASU. Now, the high school program, we are able to accelerate students that show a need. So, for example, we have a student at one of our schools that was a fifth grader, and he needed pre-algebra. And so,
in fifth grade?
In fifth grade.
More power to him. God bless you, kid. Okay.
And so we needed some options rather than moving him to the high school, which might not be the best social and emotional move. And we were able to bring him pre-algebra to his elementary school through the digital learning.
Nice.
He would actually finish before all of the high school students. And so he's actually taken 3 middle school courses. Next year he'll start some high school courses.
Wow.
Then at the middle school and high school level, we have the opportunity for them to take Arizona State University Prep, which are high school, really rigorous Cambridge curriculum. They're able to do it at their own pace. It's called curriculum compacting, meaning they can actually move at their own pace. So when they've mastered something, they can move on. And so some of them are finishing classes and taking 2 courses in 1 semester.
Okay, amazing. Good for them. That's wonderful. And to be able to have that available to them, right, at any of your schools throughout the district has got to be amazing. And I'm sure the parents appreciate that as well for their students. So.
And our ASU Accelerate class, what makes it a little bit different, because we have dual credit in all of our districts around here. Arizona State University dual credit classes actually will transfer to any university in the United States because it is the #1 research facility. So for our students that are looking towards Ivy League or very top out-of-state schools, which we do have several that are aspiring to that, their dual credit classes will transfer with credit, even if they're at University of Montana or Stanford or Cornell, they will transfer.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, great opportunities for your students, for sure, with the gifted program. And you've also reached out to the community with some gifted advisory councils. Talk to me a little bit about that, of trying to get some stakeholder involvement in the programs that you're building.
So we're next year we're implementing the Gifted Advisory Council, and basically what that is to hear from our stakeholders, parents, teachers, students, and to see what they want in their gifted program. We also have a partnership with Purdue University, where we send 30 of our students on scholarship to a 2-week gifted camp in Indiana. And so we've been meeting on that, but adding with a lot of parent involvement. Actually, because parent requests, they upped our scholarships from 20 to over 30. So we're super excited about that partnership as well. And it's really nice to start seeing what the gifted parents and the gifted students want out of their program. Like Mr. Deswood was saying, we are trying to start doing more student surveys to see what classes they would like and what they would like to do in the future and how we can make our program bigger and better.
Got you. Anything that surprised you from getting this feedback, or you haven't gotten it yet?
We haven't gotten it yet,
Okay.
but we will be starting in September of next year. Will be our first Gifted
I see.
Advisory Council meeting. But I must say that since I have joined Central Consolidated Schools in January of 23, it is parents and students are very involved and really are very happy that their program has come back to life and kind of been revamped.
Nice, very good. And I know too that there's something in the program for teachers as well, a little bit of professional development for them to take on and to understand some of these new things that you're bringing into their classrooms.
Yeah. So unfortunately, back in 2021, they did a study, the state did a study on teachers, and the majority of teachers had never gotten gifted education in their prep program. And so we try to do some bite-size professional development for teachers. We also have the opportunity to have 8 gifted teachers in the district, so they do a lot of one-on-one type of teaching as well. But we're really trying to keep those gifted students engaged, whether they're in a gifted class or in a traditional class. And so it is so important for teachers to understand that students that have already mastered sometimes become a little bored and need a little bit more rigor and a little bit more engagement. And so that's why it goes together with the mission of the district.
Right, right. And I guess important for the teachers to maybe help identify that too, to be able to get more resources to that student. And that brings me to another question about gifted students, and I imagine there are all types of students that maybe fall into that bucket, if you will, but maybe some that don't quite fall into the bucket but are still maybe considered potentially gifted or gifted in certain ways. And I guess it's important to kind of understand all those different nuances.
Yes, and we have our students that are identified as gifted, which means that they qualified at a 95th percentile or higher on cognitive ability tests. But we also have students that are very, very intelligent and are high ability. And so we're looking at ways that we can improve their educational experience as well through possible AP programs, career and technical programs, and maybe eventually some programs with the gifted and talented as well.
Interesting, gotcha. And this can be in any grade level, I guess, too, right?
Any grade level.
So do you have a kindergartner maybe that is
Yes.
showing some signs of...
So with our 355 students that were referred earlier this year, we tested them, and we had a remarkable kindergarten student who scored in the 100th percentile in all areas, which is impressive for any grade level, let alone kindergarten.
Right.
So we will be definitely doing some individual planning for that student so that he can stay engaged and figure out what he's really good at and what he wants to do when he grows up, and hopefully help him through his educational experience. But I'm excited to work with him. I haven't met him yet, but I will definitely be going down south to meet him.
Nice. He's on your radar for sure. So wonderful. Very good. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing about the work that you do throughout the district. It's exciting work and must be very rewarding work as well.
Yes.
So appreciate that. Mr. Carlson, I want to come back to you. Hearing these stories about what's being done in the district, it's got to make you feel good about the job that you are doing. As Mr. Deswood was saying, some of the stability and things like that to get some of these things into the schools and developing. I think I know that it's hard in education to turn things on a dime, and so it does take some time to see some of the results of your efforts, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, Scott. I appreciate that. Especially we appreciate what Kate's done with the gifted program. I think that Mr. Deswood would tell you the same thing, that teachers tend to struggle. I was a math teacher for years. Peter was a math teacher for years. We tend to hit those students that need the help the most. And then the students who have already mastered what we're teaching, we tend to kind of neglect them a little bit. And so the gifted program should help teachers be able to connect a little bit more with those students and to keep them engaged in the classroom.
Very good. Well, wonderful. Well, again, I'm afraid we're out of time, everyone, but it's great to have you all here to talk about the important work that you are doing in the Central Consolidated School District. So thank you for making the time to come over and visit with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
You bet. Good to see you all. My guests from the Central Consolidated School District here with me on KSJE. KSJE and the San Juan College Native American Center present the Student Study Tip of the Week.
Hello, my name is Latoya, and I'm here coming to you with the study tips of the week. Occasionally, college professors will tell you the information that will or won't be on an exam. Listen to them. They're sharing this information with you to save you time so you're not studying the wrong information for hours, and you can focus on the important points. If you're unsure about what to focus on while studying, send your professor a quick email to confirm or speak with him or her after class.
The Student Study Tip of the Week is presented by the San Juan College Native American Center and KSJE.
You know, digital spaces need to be accessible too. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech. I'm Megan McCarty-Carino. Developers of mobile apps have room for improvement in making their platforms fully accessible for disabled users. That's according to a new report from the software company ArcTouch and the digital research platform Fable. It looked at 50 popular apps and assessed them for features that improve accessibility, like screen